Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode in the Emergente series. My name is Carmela Magnocavallo, and I am one of the diplomacy officers at the Australian Latin American Emerging Leaders Dialogue. Our organization seeks to strengthen Australian and Latin American relations through the next generation of young leaders. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing Gonzalo Quesada, the Chargé d'Affaires of Costa Rica and Australia, serving as the Counselor and General Consul of Costa Rica since February 2023, and then took on the role of Chargé d'Affaires at the Embassy of Costa Rica in Australia in May 2023. He graduated with a Bachelor of Laws from the University of La Salle in 2020, where he also served as president of the Law Students Association in 2018 to 2019. Additionally, Mr. Quesada has experience as a parliamentary advisor, which was a role he fulfilled in 2020. Working as a Chargé d'Affaires of Costa Rica for over 1 year now. Could you please tell us a bit about your background and how you came to be the Chargé d'Affaires of Costa Rica in Australia?
Well, thank you, Carmela, and all the ALELT staff for this amazing opportunity to share some of my experiences and remarks to your esteemed audience. This is a satisfying opportunity for all of us here at the embassy, and we hope to make the best out of it. Thank you.
Thanks. So what inspired you to pursue a career in diplomacy?
Well, this goes back to my late childhood when I started learning the world's capitals and the world's leaders. It was a natural interest for all things international. Back when I was in law school, around my second year, I developed a keen interest in international law, multilateralism, and joint efforts across the globe. This feeling grew stronger as I learned how well respected Costa Rica is in the international arena, how many great initiatives have come to fruition thanks to our diplomats. So naturally, I wanted to contribute a little.
Nice, thank you for sharing. How do you think that you would best describe the current state of diplomatic relations between Costa Rica and Australia?
Well, let me just make a brief parenthesis on the history on the relation between both countries. Costa Rica's first consul to Australia was appointed in 1884 with his opening an office in Sydney. Both countries formalized their diplomatic ties back in 1974 when Costa Rican's foreign policy aimed to broaden our global reach. This embassy was opened in 2017 with Mr. Jairo Hernandez serving as our first ambassador to Australia. Currently, Costa Rica and Australia cooperate in several forums at the UN, at the World Trade Organization, just to mention a few, as both countries share a fair amount of common values in democratic advocacy, sustainable development, climate change, etc. Both countries are part of the Cairns Group of agricultural fair trading. Last year, balance of trade between Costa Rica and Australia was favorable to Costa Rica by 211.7 million Australian dollars. Costa Rica exports to Australia include medical instruments, coffee and substitutes, electrical circuits, equipment, etc.
Thanks. It's super interesting to hear about how far back that relation does go. So, Gonzalo, tourism is a vital industry for Costa Rica, as we know. Could you share with us what sort of initiatives and strategies the Costa Rican Embassy here in Australia is implementing to promote and expand the tourism between the two of our countries?
Of course, that's an excellent question. Well, as you well pointed out, tourism is the cornerstone of Costa Rica's gross domestic product. Currently, we are closely working with Mr. John Teres. He's the CEO and founder of Venue Buca, which is a website where you can book as some sort of Airbnb or booking. You can look for and book venues for small and large events across the globe. So we're working with Mr. Teres to put Costa Rica on his page. And with this, we aim to expand Costa Rica's catalog when it comes to tourism and what we have to offer. Uh, we also try to promote Costa Rica's tourism, culture, and food through different events across Australia. I think the most important one in terms of people's participation could be the National Multicultural Festival here in Canberra, which takes place on February each year. And for example, last year we had around 400 people attend our stall where they had a degustation of Costa Rican coffee, Costa Rican sweets, and they had the chance to learn a little more about Costa Rica's tourism industry and what we have to offer to Australians and
Sorry. So, Gonzalo, Costa Rica is known for its environmental policies and its commitment to sustainability. Are you able to share some of the successful initiatives that Costa Rica has already implemented?
yes, of course. As some of you may know, Costa Rica's trademark in in the international arena, in the international concert of nations, has always been the advocacy for sustainable development, climate change, and this has come to a higher level this year because in 2025, Costa Rica and France will be co-hosting the United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice. So, in order to prepare for that big event, Costa Rican's Foreign Policy Directorate established a high-level event um, earlier this year in June, where we call it Immersed in Change. And around 30 representatives from 30 different countries traveled to Costa Rica, as well as NGOs, scientists, and the civil society in general. One of the big results of this high level event was the Peace for the Oceans Declaration. Um, it's important to highlight that this was not an United Nations event, so this declaration is not binding to the members. But we've gathered support from around 27 countries as we speak. We're working closely with Australia uh, to also gather their support to this declaration that basically comprises all the good practices that Costa Rica has been implementing um, internally. So we want to expand it globally. Um, this comprehends, for example, plastic pollution reduction, conservation of the marine floor, and we also we're trying to gain support of the what they call the biggest polluters on Earth. I'm not gonna mention names, but we all know who they are. And one of the most important things about this high-level event was to prepare in advance to next year's conference in Nice, but also gather support from these countries. Of course, they are big countries with big spheres of influence worldwide. So getting their support and commitment to this cause is one of the absolute things that we have to advocate during this year after our event, aiming towards next year's event in Nice, France.
Sounds like there's a lot of big things happening in that policy space, and really positive to hear that Costa Rica is valuing sustainability so much that it is making these moves. I guess just to finish off, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners today about Costa Rica, its culture, or its international relations?
Well, I don't think of a better moment to share this with your esteemed audience, but our new ambassador is set to arrive in Canberra on this Saturday. So we're really excited to get a new boss around here, and I'm sure her agenda will follow what we've been talking these past few minutes, especially when it comes to sustainability and strengthen our ties, our historical ties, as you heard before, to strengthen the ties between Costa Rica and Australia towards a brighter future for both uh, our peoples.
That's great and really good news. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us today, Gonzalo. It was really valuable to hear about your background in diplomacy, as well as the bilateral relations between Costa Rica and Australia, learn more about your tourism, the environmental and sustainability development areas that are happening, and about the new ambassador coming. Really exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have the opportunity to meet her.
We look forward to that. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in to El Emergente today. Stay tuned for more inspiring discussions with Australian and Latin American leaders in our El Emergente series. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.